Hey, gang. Hello, hello. I'm trying to move my noggin out of the way. There we go. There we go. If you're watching on YouTube, and you should be, perhaps you're wondering, why is there a cardboard cutout of John Fetterman and a cardboard cutout of Richard Nixon behind me? It's because I am at the mothership. I am at SiriusXM headquarters in New York City. Listen to me, in Washington, D.C. um, I love today's poll question. I love today's poll question. Do you want more daylight in the morning or in the evening? Okay, let's not get all caught up in daylight saving time, saving singular. Well, what does that mean? I'm just making it real simple. Do you want the daylight in the morning or in the evening? I'll circle back to that in just a moment. Thank you, Parks Casino. I'll be at Parks Casino in 2 nights for Stories and Cigars with Smerconish, all sold out. But there are other great mingle opportunities coming to Parks Casino that are not sold out. Action, excitement at the Excite Center, sing-along brunches, Latin dance nights, country line dancing, comedy night, happy hour at the Liberty Bell Beer Garden, plus watch parties, Bamboo Noodle House, the Parks Grill, the best cover bands, hot slots, the Bet Parks Sports Book, and a beautiful poker room. And I love this. Yesterday, Sunday at 12 noon, and today, Monday at 6 p.m., Bet Park Sportsbook serves up the ultimate fan experience, dollar hot dogs, $3 Miller Lights, $5 Peronis, and wall-to-wall action on the 150-foot giant sportsbook screens. Straight No Chaser is coming. Comedian Kem Jung is coming. The Led Zeppelin tribute. Get the lead out. Lots of good stuff. PARXcasino.com. You got to be 21. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. As it is a Monday, permit me a quick recap of recent poll results. Friday was Halloween. Which factor will exert the most pressure to reopen the government? Here we are. Senate's coming back today, but the government's still shut down. And I offered you a variety of choices: pressure from federal employees, open enrollment, meaning health insurance, the election tomorrow, the Tuesday election, or SNAP, food stamp benefits, or none of the above. And 29.91% selected none of the above, followed by 29.82% who said it's going to be the SNAP benefits. That was the answer, by the way, of Senator Joe Manchin on my CNN program, where he was a guest on Saturday. The Saturday poll question, now, a little bit of background about this. Jim Vandehei is the Axios CEO. He's a co-founder of Axios. He and Mike Allen published an essay at the end of last week. Jim Vandehei was my guest this weekend as well, saying essentially socialism is gaining in popularity among Democrats, particularly young Democrats. Take a look at Zohran Mamdani and how he's expected to do tomorrow in New York City. And then additionally, people are waking up to the threats from artificial intelligence, something we've been talking about here on POTUS because of all those headlines recently about massive job loss. So I focused on one of those with Vandehei, the AI aspect, and I asked, is the innovation and potential growth from AI, the possibility that artificial intelligence is going to cure cancer, is that worth the risk of job displacement? 43,777 cast their ballots. 55.34% said, no, it is not worth the risk. It is not worth the risk of job displacement. Sunday poll question, you didn't love the national anthem. I was all hyped up because of the World Series game Saturday night. And I got to say, I love that Canadian anthem. I really do. And yeah, this is not a Trump related thing. I just think they've got a better anthem than we do. And I wondered, well, how many other people think that the Canadian anthem is better than ours? 47.31% do, of 22,806. That Saturday night game was unbelievable. Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Ooh, I think I did it right. Dodger victory parade is going to be today, but it'll be nothing like it would be in Philly, right? Okay. I knew that I wanted to do a daylight saving poll question today. And I initially was saying, should daylight saving time be permanent. But if I said, should daylight saving time be permanent, would everybody realize what that meant in terms of when do you get the additional daylight? I mean, I took a 4 o'clock train to Washington yesterday from Philadelphia, and by 5 o'clock, it was dark out. This morning, I took an Uber to get to the Sirius XM headquarters, and I left my hotel at 6:45, and the sun had come up within the past 10 minutes. I want that daylight at the end of the day. I know it's a very personalized thing, and I also understand the risk to school children. I do. I do. So perhaps I'm being selfish, but speaking personally, I could care less what it looks like in the morning. I could care less because guess what? I'm a morning person. It's always dark for me. It is at 4:30 when I get up, it's always dark. So I want the daylight at the end of the day because it bums me out. It just totally, totally bums me out. CNN had good coverage that we included in the newsletter. The current March to November system that the U.S. follows began in 2007. But the concept of saving daylight is much older. Daylight saving time has its roots in train schedules, but it was put into practice in Europe and the United States to save fuel and power during World War I. I did tell you it's daylight saving, right? Not plural. This is one of those, the Congressional Medal of Honor. It's not the Congressional Medal of Honor. It's the Medal of Honor. Daylight savings time. No, it's daylight saving time. I know this only from having made mistakes over many, many years and listeners calling me on the carpet. The U.S. kept daylight saving time permanent during most of World War II. The idea was put in place to conserve fuel, keep things standard. As the war came to a close in 1945, Gallup asked respondents how we should tell time. Only 17% wanted to keep what was then called wartime all year. I forgot this. During the energy crisis of the 70s, we tried permanent daylight saving time again in the winter of 1973 to 74. The idea was to conserve fuel. It was a popular move at the time when President Richard Nixon signed the law in January of 1974. But by the end of the month, listen to this, Florida's governor had called for the law's repeal after 8 school children were hit by cars in the dark. Schools across the country delayed start times until the sun came up. Okay, so you're saying to me, Michael, have you no sympathy for the kids who are now going to be put at risk at their bus stops? No, I do have sympathy. Let's have this conversation. School ought to start later. I mean, ours are older now, but I remember what it was like to motivate kids very early to get on that bus and ask school teachers how productive the kids are early in the day. And you're going to hear a good argument for having that school day go longer. I know it would impact athletics. We've got to figure that out, but I'm not persuaded by the bus stop argument alone. Okay? In the United States, the states are not required by law to fall back or spring forward. Hawaii, most of Arizona, and some territories in the Pacific and Caribbean do not observe daylight saving time. Studies over the past 25 years have shown that the 1-hour change disrupts body rhythms tuned to Earth's rotation. Adding fuel to the debate over whether having daylight saving time in any form is a good idea. The issue is that for every argument, there's a counter argument. There are studies, for example, that show that we have more car accidents when people lose an extra hour's sleep. There are also studies that show robberies decline when there's an extra hour of sunlight at the end of the day. We also know that people suffer more heart attacks at the start of daylight saving time. But what about our mental health? People seem to be happier when there's an extra hour of daylight. That's me. That is me. Yeah, that is me. I don't like it. And the other thing is, I should probably just give up this conversation because this is one of those that every year it comes up and it just never seems to change. If you want more daylight later in the day, you would favor making daylight saving time permanent. I was going to ask the question that way. Would you like daylight saving time to be permanent? But I thought people might get confused. Well, where do I pick up the time? So I made it real simple. Do you want more daylight in the morning or do you want more daylight in the evening. Go to Smerconish.com and cast your ballot. Boy, that looks funny. Fetterman and Richard Nixon behind me, doesn't it? Go cast your ballot at Smerconish.com on that, the daily poll question. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, please, because Mingle Project episode number 7 is going to drop this week. Okay? And you'll be in the loop if you set yourself up for notifications as to exactly that one, when that will be the case. All right. Have a great day. See you, everybody.